Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 2, Chapter 1.7 Notes, Part 2. Today we're talking about translating verbal phrases into algebraic expressions or equations involving a variable, and to evaluate variable expressions when given the value of the variable. Okay, so let's first talk about algebraic expressions. Whenever that says a number, whatever is unknown, that's we're going to use a variable. And today we're just going to be using x. Okay? So let's go ahead and get started at some of these. It says 18 more than a number. Now, more than tells us to add, but when we add with more than, we have to switch the order. Okay, so this is really saying x plus 18. Okay? Let's actually write that so it looks nice. X plus 18. Okay? So let's look at the next one. 11 less than a number. Now less than means subtract, but the same thing with more than, we actually have to switch that order too. So x minus 11. All right, C says 6 decreased by twice a number. Decreased is our keyword, and that tells us to subtract. Okay, and we just stay in the same order. So 6 decreased by twice the number, so 2 times x. The sum of 12 and 3 times the number. So sum tells us that we're going to add, and we're going to add 12 plus 3 times the number. Okay, and the last one, E, product. Product tells us to multiply. So we're multiplying a -8 and a number squared, and then it's increased by 3. So we've got the product of 8 and a number squared, and then we're going to increase that by 3. Okay. Equations and inequalities. We've talked about these symbols before and what they mean. Go ahead and copy those down. If you need to pause the video, pause the video. Otherwise, we're just going to get started on the translating part at the bottom. Okay? So, 7 is 4 more than twice the number. So we got 7 is 4 more than twice the number. So is the equal sign, so 7 is. We have to switch the order because it's more than. So twice the number comes front, plus 4. So 7 equals 2x plus 4. All right, 6 is less than the sum of 3 and twice the number. So 6 is less than means we're doing the inequality. The sum tells me that we're adding, and we're adding 3 and twice the number. Okay. H, 10 is the difference of 4 and a number squared. So 10 is the difference, so we're subtracting. 4 comes first, and your number squared. Okay, the quotient tells us that we're going to divide a number and 15 is greater than or equal to 8. So with the quotient, the number comes first, and it's being divided by 15 is greater than or equal to 8. And then for J, why don't you guys pause the video and try that one yourself. Okay, and there you go. You get x minus 7 is less than or equal to 14 because it's less than. We had to switch the order of those two. Okay? All right. So now we're going to be talking about evaluating variable expressions. When you evaluate, you need to, that's substituting a given value for a variable in order to simplify an expression. Okay? And the key reminder is that we need to use parentheses when we're substituting. Okay? So for number 1, they tell us what x is and they tell us what y is. So I'm just going to zoom in on number 1. All right, so we have to use parentheses anytime we substitute. Okay? So x is -4 and y is 3. We go inside the parentheses first, and 5 minus 3 is 2. Didn't have to make it that big. 2 minus 2 times -4 plus 7. Remember, we're following the order of operations right now, PEMDAS. So after parentheses, we do exponents. 2 times 2, that gives us 4. Okay, so we did that. And now we need to multiply. -2 times 4 is +8. And then the last step to do would be to add all those numbers up. And when you do that, you should get 19. Okay. All right, let's move on to 2. Okay. So they tell us right here what m is. Anytime you're substituting, make sure to put it inside parentheses. Okay, now we have to do parentheses first, so what's inside? Three times 2 is -6. And now we can do 2 sets of exponents right there. -2 times -2 gives us +4, and -6 times -6 gives us +36. Okay. 3 times 4 gives us 12. And then 12 minus 36 is the last thing that we had to do. 12 minus 36 is -24. Okay, let's go ahead and flip it over. Number 3. So let's do the same thing. We have to substitute. Every time I substitute, I'm going to plug in, put them in the parentheses. W is -9. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is to simplify, and we can actually simplify inside the parentheses. 6 divided by -3 is -2 squared. Oops. Okay, we just did -2 squared because we're doing the exponents now. That gives us 4. Now, if you just want to do step by step, the subtraction comes first. So we get -1 plus -9. And -1 plus -9 gives us an answer of -10. Okay, so we have to plug in. Okay, m equals -1. And then n is -4. So we have to do inside the parentheses first, and the only thing that's really inside is the absolute value. Okay, so remember that that is the absolute value, and it makes all things positive. So the absolute value of -1 is 1. Okay, and now we have to do our exponents. So we have -4 times -4, which gives us a +16. and then negative 1 to the third power is actually negative 1. Okay, let's multiply. 5 times 1 is 5. And minus a negative is actually adding 1. Okay. 5 minus 16, that's what we can do right now. 5 minus 16 is negative 11, and negative 11 plus 1 gives us a grand total of negative 10. Okay, number 5, why don't you guys go ahead and try it by yourself, and let's see how you do. Pause the video, please. Okay, and there's all the work. The absolute value of negative 15 is 15. The absolute value of negative 9 is 9. 15 minus 9 is 6, and then 6 minus 2 is 4. Excuse me. All right, number 6. Okay, so m is negative 7, and n is negative 3. So remember, we got to treat these like parentheses and do what's inside first. 2 negatives right there, make that a positive, okay? And now we can take the absolute value. The absolute value of negative 7 is positive 7. And the absolute value of 3 is 3. So we have negative 3 times 7, which gives us negative 21 plus 3. And then negative 21 plus 3 gives us negative 18. All right, number 7, once again, all on your own. Please pause the video, and good luck. Okay, and there's all the work. So I set it up. We got to do inside the parentheses first. And then on the second step, we can do 3 things all at once: exponents and roots. Negative 6 squared is 36, negative 2 squared is 4, and the square root of 4 is 2. After that, we multiply, and then you can add and subtract, and then you get 46. Number 8. Number 8, I want us to focus on 2 different things, okay? We've got the top and the bottom, okay? The top, x plus y, turns into 5 plus negative 2, which is a grand total of not negative 3, Mr. Grice, 3. I had it right. I just wanted to put it in the highlighter. Okay, and now on the bottom, we got negative 42 plus 4, 5 plus negative 2 squared. Okay, and then just follow the order of operations. Go inside the parentheses first, which gives us 3. And now we have to do the exponents, which gives us 9. Then we have to multiply to get 36. And then we get our answer there of negative 6. And the most important thing is we have to know what answer goes on the top and which one goes on the bottom. Okay? So 3 over negative 6. And when you reduce 3 over negative 6, we get our final answer, which is what, guys? Negative 1/2, okay? Because you have to reduce both the top and the bottom by 3. Okay, number 9. Remember to put everything in the parentheses when you plug in, okay? So m is negative 2, and n is -1. Okay, so inside of the parentheses, I'm going to do exponents first. -2 to the third power is -8. -1 squared is 1. Okay, so now inside, let's multiply. We get -8 minus 4, and -5 times -2 is +10. And now on the outside, we have a -1 over a -2, which is actually +1/2. Okay. We have -12. I'm combining the like terms. -12 plus 2 gives me -2 divided by 1/2. Now, we talked about when we have division that we want to flip. Okay, so -2 times 2 over 1, and remember that that -2 is over 1. Okay, we look at our corners to see if we can reduce, which we can't. So we can multiply straight across. -2 times 2 is -4. And since it's over 1, we can just leave it as -4. Okay? All right, last one, 10. Why don't you guys go ahead and pause the video and give it your best shot. Okay, and you should have gotten a +8. Now, if you have any questions on that one or need more help on any of the problems that we did, please come find Ms. Carranza or myself. Otherwise, that's going to be it for Algebra 2, Chapter 1.7 Notes, Part 2. Thanks for watching.